which means that any organism with sufficient mass and cognitive capability is a potential vector. Is something wrong?
No, nothing.
Splendid, shall we?
Hi, I'm Nemesis, and welcome to a Let's Play of Halo. This is the Two Betrayals, or Two Betrayals. We just got back from the library, and now we're about to unite the index with the core.
My usefulness to this particular endeavor has come to an end. Protocol does not allow units with my classification to perform a task as important as the reunification of the index with the core. That final step is reserved for you, Reclaimer.
And here we go. About to activate Halo. I think.
Odd. That wasn't supposed to happen.
Oh, really?
Oh shit!
Cortana.
I've spent the last 12 hours cooped up in here watching you toady about, helping that thing get set to slit our throats.
Hold on now. He's a friend.
Oh, I didn't realize. He's your pal, is he? Your chum? Do you have any idea what that bastard almost made you do?
Yes. Activate Halo's defenses and destroy the Flood, which is why we brought the index to the control center.
You mean this?
A construct in the core? That is absolutely unacceptable.
Sod off!
What impertinence! I shall purge you at once!
You sure that's a good idea?
How dare you? Oh!
Do what? I have the index. You can just float and sputter.
Enough! The Flood is spreading. If we activate Halo's defenses, we can wipe them out.
You have no idea how this ring works, do you? Why the Forerunners built it? Halo doesn't kill Flood. It kills their food. Humans, Covenant, whatever. We're all equally edible. The only way to stop the Flood is to starve them to death. And that's exactly what Halo is designed to do. Wipe the galaxy clean of all sentient life. You don't believe me? Ask him.
Halo's dark secret.
Is it true?
More or less. Technically, this installation's pulse has a maximum effective radius of 25,000 light years. But once the others follow suit, this galaxy will be quite devoid of life. Or at least any life with sufficient biomass to sustain the Flood. But you already knew that. I mean, how couldn't you?
Left
What?
out that little detail, did he?
We have followed outbreak containment procedure to the letter. You were with me each step of the way as we managed this crisis.
Chief, I'm picking up movement.
Why would you hesitate to do what you've already done?
We need to go right now.
Last time you asked me, if it were my choice, would I do it?
What do you mean last time?
Having had considerable time to ponder your query, my answer has not changed. There is no choice. We must activate the ring.
Get us out of here.
If you are unwilling to help, I will simply find another. Still, I must have the index. Give your construct to me, or I will be forced to take her from you.
That's not going to happen.
So be it. Save his head. Dispose of the rest.
Look out.
Oh crap. Anyway. So yeah, we just found out Halo actually destroys all life in the galaxy, not the Flood. And then they kind of, started off with a plasma pistol, so you kind of have to deal with that. But it turns out plasma-based weapons are actually really good against Sentinels. Really good. Gun pointed at the end of the universe,
We can't
so we
let the
get a plasma
monitor
pistol and a
activate
shotgun.
Halo. We have to stop him. We have to destroy Halo.
Oh,
According to my analysis of the available data, I believe the best course of action is somewhat risky.
risky.
An explosion of sufficient size will help destabilize the ring, and will cut through a number of primary systems. We need to trigger a detonation on a large scale, however. A starship's fusion reactors going critical would do the job. I'm going to search what's left of the Covenant battlement and see if I can locate the Pillar of Autumn's crash site. If the ship's fusion reactors are still relatively intact, we can use them to destroy Halo.
I always seem to mess it up somehow. Anyway, in the cutscene earlier, Cortana said sawed off. That was actually remnant of when Cortana was actually British. Yeah, at one point Cortana was supposed to be British, so that line is just kind of a remnant of that before they just got rid of the British accent. And here I am trying to use the plasma very unsuccessfully. To be honest, this is probably my second this is probably my second least liked level in all of Halo, just because I don't know, it just by this time I don't know what it is. I just do not like this level too much. I can't really put my finger on why.
The crash site. We need to buy some time
Just know,
in case the monitor
this is
or
the
his
level I died the
find a way
most
to
on
activate
in
Halo's
this whole entire
final weapon
playthrough.
without the index. The machinery in these canyons are Halo's primary firing mechanisms. They consist of 3 phase pulse generators that amplify Halo's signal and allow it to fire deep into space. The power levels are enormous. I can't even begin to calculate the pulse's range.
Yeah, and there's weapons up there in that ramp I was going up.
If we damage or destroy these generators, the monitor will need to repair them before Halo can be used.
I don't know why they
should
go
buy some
grab them.
time. I'm marking the location of the nearest pulse generator with a nav point. We need to move in and neutralize the device.
Of course, it turned around. You always need to turn around right as we're about to hit that. Yeah, this is the single level I died the most on in this entire run through of this game. So yeah, you're going to see quite a few jump cuts because of that. I think, okay, I said earlier I'm probably not sure why I like this level, but part of it is the fact that, well, there's Flood with rocket launchers later, and Flood with rocket launchers are bad because they're willing to shoot even point blank. And then there's also the fact that there's this part where you have to willingly drop your shields and then fight an ambush when you have no shield, and that's just not that fun. I mean, there's still some cool, fun parts in this, but yeah, this always seems to be the level I always do the worst on whenever I play this game. There have been times where I have played through this game, not died once until I got to this level, and then don't ever die again. So yeah, it's just something about this level just I don't like.
Wait, we should commandeer one of those Banshees. We'll need it to reach the pulse generator in time.
Or at all, actually. You can't really reach the pulse generator without a Banshee because it's up in the air. Yeah, they finally go to the house back. At least the heartbeat noise in here is, this is not as intrusive as the low health noise in ODST, which people rightly complained was kind of annoying. Yes, it gave you an idea that yes, your health was low, but it also annoyed the crap out of you. Pretty sure there were weapons up there by the control room and just forgot to grab them this time. Or just got too lazy to go back up and try again. I'm pretty sure, I think there was, it might be that they were there on this control room. I can never remember which one. And now this is the first time you're supposed to officially fly a Banshee. But so yeah, the little help prompt pops up again, even though we already saw it inside the control room.
Point marks our target.
And then again, inside the control room, you're not supposed to be getting the Banshee quite yet. I just did a sequence break, which I probably shouldn't have done for a Let's Play, but you know what? The video was already going long, and I knew it when I was playing, so... pretty much every... My policy was, I'll try to do it. If I can't, I'll just keep playing it normal. I won't, like, reload it to save or anything. But, yeah, if I do pull it off, I'm just gonna go with it. Oh, and this is... I forgot how to fly the Banshee in Halo 1 for a second when I was playing this part. I forgot you have to hold back to kind of do the hover thing. I was so used to the way it works in later games. I was like, wait, how do I use the bombs? I couldn't remember how to use the bombs.
That's the pulse generator. The center core is the signal amplifier. That's what we need to shut down. We need to interrupt the pulse generator's energy stream. I've adjusted your shield system so that it will deliver an EMP burst to disrupt the generator, but you'll need to walk into the beam to trigger it. The EMP blast should neutralize the generator, but it will also drain your shields and leave you vulnerable until they recharge.
Which is just, that's one of the things that annoys me at this level. You have to do this twice and deal with an or 3 times, but 2 of the times you have to deal with an ambush right afterwards, which is really annoying. Because, you know, oh my gosh, no shields, and now you got to fight your way out with no shields. It's kind of, especially on the higher difficulties. And earlier I was looking at the floor because it kind of reminded me of what the kind of technological level we see in Halo 2.
The generator's central core is
Yeah, here I just, like, you know what, screw it, I'm out. That's what I usually do. I try to rush the exit as fast as I can. And here they give you an extra Banshee. An extra Banshee pops up.
In the adjacent canyon. Move out, and I'll mark the target with the nav point when we get closer.
Yeah, they just kind of give you an extra Banshee, just in case your old one fell off the cliff or side or something. They want to make sure you... I guess they wanted to make sure you could still finish the level, even if you were dumb about your Banshee. I really hate the fuel rush runs,
That's the way to the next
especially in later games. Guns are easy now, so you're dealing with ones that fire explosive rounds at you. Although in this game, they actually big of a threat. I know this is an opportunity for more stealth, but I'm not sure if I actually keep it. No, I don't. I was gonna say, it's been a while since I actually played. Now, kind of the problem with recording everything really quickly and then spacing out your commentaries very far. Kind of forget what exactly you did. Well, there's a reason I have this rocket launcher out. But it's not worth it. I just know one of these hallways like this in this level will have a very nasty surprise for you. I want to be ready for it. I still love this music. And here we go. Flood versus Covenant. This is the first time we really, you know, this is, well, not the first time, but this is like the first time we see elites fighting Flood. And best thing, of course, the action to do, especially on the higher difficulties, is just sit back and let them thin each other out, rather than dealing with both at the same time. That's exactly what I did. Covenant has a tendency to win here, so. Especially since they have a gold elite. shot though. Must have already been pretty damaged. Yeah, and I'm just running into the wall, and I forgot Flood come out of this doorway. I completely forgot Flood come out of that doorway, so I'm just kind of trying to run through. And yeah, I run straight into an infection, carrier form. Actually, first I run into a wall, and then I go, wait. I go, oh, fuck. I'm just curious how 343 is going to do new music for Halo 4 without Marty O'Donnell, because that's going to be difficult for them to pull that off, you know. Making the music good for Halo 4, making it sound like Halo music without just, you know, just repeating what Marty already did. Basically, for me, Halo 4 is kind of like going to be one big, like, not sure, but I'll go ahead and give it a chance. I just hope, you know, they can actually pull it off without either letting it stagnate or making it so different that it doesn't feel like Halo anymore. I don't know why I'm sticking around on the bridge. I should have just left. I think I was hoping for maybe some more Flood that would have shotgun ammo or something. So yeah, at this point in the game, the levels you're going through, a lot of them are levels you already went through, just with slight differences, or just you're going through backwards, like this one. This is pretty much almost assault on control backwards. Yeah, a lot of Flood. I'm just glad on Legendary. I'm pretty sure that all they do with the Flood is just increase the numbers. Because if I remember, yeah, they're still as easy to kill. It's just there's a lot more. Yeah, that's why I had the rocket launcher earlier, because of that guy. Because there have been times I got close to him with the shotgun. It's like I thought there's no way he's gonna pull out his rocket launcher and fire, and he pulled out his rocket launcher and fired point blank. Because I don't know, the Flood just don't care about self-preservation, at least not at an individual level. Well, there I go again with the switching and meleeing constantly. I don't know why I do that. I probably should stop. Explosion, more Flood. Fun. Yeah, there are a lot of Flood. Yeah, I forgot to grab the health pack, I think. Yeah, I didn't grab the health pack. I should have grabbed the health pack. I was right next to it, but I think I was in such a desperation to get out of there that I didn't even notice, which is unfortunate. Yeah, there's been so many times where that Banshee just gets hung up on the bridge. I don't know why that keeps happening. Because, you know, Halo had the perfect AI, right? Like, but not really. And I just kind of It's kind of I've seen repeatedly in this. Oh, and there I use plasma grenades in Flood. Basically, don't do what I did. Don't use plasma grenades. Use frag grenades whenever possible, unless they're far enough away that it's not a huge deal. Because, yeah, more often than not, if you'll stick a Flood guy, he'll rush right into you. And so, yeah, it usually turns out badly for you. And here I am, yeah. Flood was the highest priority to take out, the ones with the rocket launchers. So that's what I'm doing. I'm ignoring everyone else first, then rocket launcher guys, then everyone else. Still love this. I don't know what it is, but Marty O'Donnell somehow just got everything right with music. And explosion. Basically, more Flood coming. Hooray. And sometimes it can be really helpful, those carrier forms, because if they're in a tight group like that, just shoot the carrier form and watch as everyone just dies. Yep. More infection forms coming out of the woodwork to mess with your head. I remember this part. It's kind of annoying because at this point, almost every single time I'm running low on shotgun ammo, and it's quite a while before you see more. I just remember it being quite a while before you see more ammo. So at this point, you're kind of just trying to, you know, minimize the number of shots you have to take. Which is what I'm doing. I'm trying to go the wrong way again. Just running up against the wall because I'm not looking where I'm going.
Okay, let's take care of the next pulse generator.
Oh, here I'm trying to get in the ghost, and then right there, get in the ghost. I'm trying to get in the ghost, and yeah, that Wraith is messing me up because that Wraith has got a good beat on me. I don't know what it was, but that Wraith just had a really good beat on my position. Oh yeah, right there, I just kind of don't even notice how it goes. I think I did this just because I don't think I haven't stopped and looked and see what was in those doorways for a long time. I was just trying, I couldn't remember, was there actually something in those doorways, or was I just remembering things wrong? Oh yeah, Ghost versus Wraith, who's gonna win? Well, depends on if the guy in the Ghost has a rocket launcher or not. Usually I just fly by this guy, but yeah, he pissed me off when he actually hit me and was getting in my way. Yeah, I just can't drive this thing. Yeah, the way the Ghost handles in this is very weird compared to how it handles in the rest of the Halos. I mean, I was probably used to it way back then, but now I'm not. Oh, I remember this part. Yeah, I got a health pack, and then get in the Warthog, and oh crap, are you kidding? Yeah, there's a reason I switched over the Warhog over the Ghost, even though I have no gunners or anything. I have my reasons. There's a method to my madness. And there's another plasma grenade. I'm freaking out. Yeah, there is a method to my madness. There's a reason I switched over to the Warhog, and you'll see pretty soon. Anyway, the first reason I like the handling of the Warhog better than I like the handling of the. I like the handling of the Warhog better than the Ghosts. It's just. I got a better hang of it. Hunters. No. Hunters are actually pretty easy to just run over. Okay, here's the reason why I got the Warthog. Park here and just take out so many of the threats from right here without having to worry. Yeah. Sometimes I go ahead and take out this Wraith, sometimes I just ignore it and just get in the Banshee, but this time I decided to go and just go ahead and take it out. Because there have been so many times where I'm just about to get in the Banshee and boom, nails me. And also sometimes it doesn't like the checkpoint if it's still firing at you when you get in the Banshee. Yeah, there's supposed to be a checkpoint when you get in the Banshee. Also wound up using a lot of ammo in this guy because he just kept sidestepping every single one of my rockets. Like I said, when you get to the Banshee, it checkpoints. Although sometimes it doesn't checkpoint if that Wraith is still shooting at you. And I want to make sure you get checkpoints. At this point, I already died several times. Banshee's almost dead. There have been so many times where I've died, right? Yeah, that, I don't know. I don't think I should have lost that much health and shields. I don't think that was on the harm drop, but apparently the game disagrees. You have to be careful with those Furor guns. If they, explode right on top of some grenades, which happens, then all of a sudden you got a chain reaction on your hands, which is not fun to deal with sometimes. Here we've got Flood and Sentinels fighting each other. You can sit back and let them try and take each other out a bit, and usually it's the Flood who wins this battle, in my experience. And if I recall, there is a Flood in here with a rocket launcher. Yep, there he is. And right now I'm just wandering around trying to find some ammo. Because, yeah, I was low on ammo. And, well, that's a bad thing to deal with.
That did it. The pulse generator overloaded. One more to go.
Yeah, messed up that grenade throw. Now I'm just getting out of here because, yeah. And this is the part in particular I really hate. Because right here, you gotta go down in this little tunnel. Okay,
I
no big
located
deal.
the Pillar of Autumn. She put down 1,200 kilometers upspin. Energy readings show her fusion reactors are still powered up. That tunnel leads to the next section of canyon. The final pulse generator we need to destroy is through there.
I hate this part in particular because I swear, okay, there's this flood down here that has a rocket launcher, and I swear he has an insanely good accuracy with it because almost every single time I come down here, he hits me at least once in the Banshee. Almost without fail. Doesn't matter how I'm approaching him or anything. He always manages to hit me. Like dead on. It's not even like just clipping my wing or anything. He just hits me dead on with the rocket launcher. And yeah, so I died several times in a row here and I was not happy. Wasting a lot of my time. I mean, I had to edit a lot out. It was getting annoying. Times like this, I wish I had the tank back. And see, there's rocket launcher right there too. That one we missed, thankfully. And it didn't help that I only had 1 bar of health. Right down here, which is why I already used firing. And there's another one. Yep, there he was. There he is. Yeah. Fun stuff right there. Yeah, one time I actually came out down here and died. I got all the way through and then died because I jumped on the Banshee too early. Another time I died because, yeah, the rocket right here actually got caught on the door. Or a flood ran in front of me or something. I don't know. I just know the rocket blew up in my face. And this is where, yeah, this is the part that always gets to me because I'm always low on ammo at this point, no matter what I do. So I'm always in a bit of a tight spot here. Now I'm like, yeah, and of course melees don't do anything to a flood. So now I gotta use a rocket launcher. Which is just plain overkill. I do not like this section at all. And then when other people say it's like one of their favorite levels, I'm like, no, no way. This is not the best level of the game at all. Nowhere near the best level of the game. And now I'm here, I'm scrambling trying to find a new weapon because, yeah, I got 1 rocket, I got no shotgun ammo. I'm just trying to find something. I got rocket ammo now, but still doesn't solve the problem of lack of shotgun. And I realize, yeah, I'm gonna have to just switch a new weapon. And since I can't find a pistol either, assault rifle is going to have to do, because that is probably the third best weapon against Flood, if you're not counting explosives. But fun fact, snipers don't do squat against the Flood. You try to shoot a Flood with a sniper rifle, it just goes right through them. It basically does almost nothing when it comes to damage. I think out of curiosity, I once actually got, like, unloaded all my sniper ammo into a single Flood, and I think he didn't die still. Final run. Going for the final pulse generator, and then this level's over. Here I go using plasma grenades again. I should not do that. I should be switching over to frag grenades right now. For that Banshee to come back, so I can do this drill and completely miss, waste one of my shots. You always gotta be careful. There's been more than once where that Banshee is landing on top of me. And now all I've got is an assault rifle. But good thing is there's no more Covenant at least. And if you will, place grenades. Yeah, the problem is, of course, some of these guys just keep being back up. Yeah, I was trying to make absolutely certain those two didn't get back up. I don't know what it is, but I swear up and down, human combat forms of the Flood are extra resilient. I've always wondered about that. I wonder if that was ever intentional or if it's just a perception of mine. Because it always seemed like the human combat forms were even tougher than the Covenant combat forms. Careful right here because once again, Flood is rocket launcher. Yeah, no. Plasma weapons, yeah, like particularly those notice it takes them down, but then they keep getting back up. In this bit right here, it's obviously supposed to walk, but yeah, fuck walking. right here, I just kind of sit here in the distance. I'm just kind of looking through the sniper scope because the Flood and Covenant are fighting each other right now, way off in the distance, right next to the two Banshees. Banshees, which I need to get one of. So right now, I just kind of sit back here. If you just, as long as you don't go past this little rock I'm next to, you don't seem to catch their attention really. So you can just sit and back and watch as they take each other out, and then you can, well, just go swoop right in, grab a Banshee, and go without too much resistance. And, you know, there's also the, you know, the just go right in and take them out method, but I prefer not to do it that way. I wait a bit, and then, yeah, usually I wait even longer, but you know what? I was like, you know what? That's going to be very boring. Just seeing me just stand here for like 10 minutes just watching, so just watching the Covenant and Flood fight each other, so I'm going to go ahead and start firing. Yeah, I noticed that Wraith is already starting to fire further than the other one. And I keep zooming out just to make certain that their shots aren't going after me, because that'd be very bad. There have been times where I've been taken out by a Wraith mortar, so I wasn't paying attention right here. Direct hit, and he's still alive. Yeah, I don't know what it is. Sometimes Wraiths only take 2 rockets, sometimes they take like 4 rockets. It like depends on exactly where you hit them. I swear, yeah, like that's the 2nd rocket. I was getting kind of annoyed at this point. And yeah, that was a bigger explosion. So yeah, I definitely took out the Wraith that time. Yeah, they're so far away you can actually reload your weapon long before the Wraiths even notice. Yeah, now I'm going to go ahead and take a few Covenant out with the sniper, because it's obvious the Flood aren't really attacking so much anymore. I'm not sure on normal difficulty. I do know in the higher difficulty, if you wait long enough, an invisible elites and hunters come down the hill from back there, and they will. This has happened where all of a sudden I got smacked, and I was like, what the hell? And turns out, yeah, there's an invisible next to me. He came all the way out there just to get me, yeah, and then you gotta just hightail it. At this point, don't even bother trying to sit and fight. Just go. Get out of there. These are Sentinels, which are a little bit harder to hit with the Banshee bombs just because of the effect they're in the air. Yeah, there have been 1 or 2 times where I landed the Banshee and then got out and, oh, I just fell off the edge. That has been happened to me several times, especially the first few times I played this game, where I just kind of jumped out of the Banshee right off the edge and got annoyed because the last checkpoint was right before was when I just saw the Covenant Flood battles, and I gotta wait some more time. Ridiculous amount of time. Final pulse generator, and thankfully this time we do not have to worry about ambush because it's the final one. It's the end of the level.
Final target neutralized. Let's get out of here.
Now we're
Let's find a ride and get to the captain.
No, that'll
stare
take
at the
too long.
thing.
You have a better idea?
There's a teleportation grid that runs throughout Halo. That's how
Oh,
the
dear.
monitor moves about so quickly. I learned how to tap into the grid when I was in the control center. Unfortunately, each jump requires a rather consequential expenditure of energy.
Something tells me I'm not gonna like this.
Oh, you won't.
But I'm pretty sure I can pull it from your suit without permanently damaging your shields. Needless to say, I think we should only try this once.
Do it.
Alright, well, this is the end of the video. Once again, I'm Nemesis, and I shall see you next time on the level Keys. Bye.